Hello and welcome to Art Talk episode 6. So in this episode we're going to be talking about our engagement snow ghost piece, and that is the piece behind us here. So we'll go a little bit into the inspiration, what inspired us to create the piece, a little bit of the story behind the name, why we call it our engagement piece, and a little bit about the construction. So before we get into that though, thank you so much for joining us. If you're a returning viewer, thank you. If you are new to the channel, we are Creative Combinations Montana. So we are a husband and wife team, myself, Nate.
And Kelsey.
And we design and make metal art, metal and wood furniture, and functional art out of our garage here in Northwest Montana. So a little bit about this space. So we are in Inspiration Cabin, which is part of Creative Hideouts, and that is it's about an acre of land on our property that we are transforming into a little kind of like a stay. We've got an Airbnb experience, plus we're going to be creating a lot of different art pieces and art features around the property. So it's kind of a spot where you can come and enjoy the space and be inspired by the pieces and be able to relax and enjoy the surrounding area, such as Glacier National Park or Big Mountain Ski Area, Flathead Lake, and kind of the different things that the Flathead has to offer.
Yeah, so welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Today we're talking about our Snow Ghost engagement piece. And like Nate said, I think you referenced it already, but we actually talked a little bit about the original Snow Ghost design that we ever first created in our very first Art Talk-Uncut. And today we are talking about this epic, beautiful steel wall art piece that we are using as a headboard here for this king bed at Inspiration Cabin. And we call this our Snow Ghost engagement piece because, oh gosh, back in 2018, at the beginning of 2018, we went on an adventure. We were skiing on Big Mountain at Whitefish Mountain Resort, and it was this epic, beautiful, like 12-inch deep powder day. I mean, stunning. And the snow ghosts were out in full glory. And snow ghosts, for those of you who are like, what the heck are you talking about? Snow ghosts are actually just snowy trees, but it's a different kind of snowy tree. It's actually when the humidity hits just right and it cakes onto the tree and it starts to topple over the tops of the trees and they get topsy-turvy, almost like Dr. Seuss trees. It's so magical. And so it was this epic powder day, like Dr. Seuss trees everywhere. Snow ghost trees everywhere. And Nate dropped down into one of our favorite runs just beyond Glory Hole and Hell Roaring Basin up on the mountain and fell.
So it was part of my plan. So I ended up proposing and we got engaged up on Big Mountain. And so that's kind of why we call this our engagement piece. So for this particular one, we have a skier and a snowboarder riding on the chairlift. So I'm the snowboarder and she's the skier. And yeah, so that's kind of how we got the name for this particular piece.
And it's just a fun memory that we're so grateful to have. It's a beautiful mountain that we've had so many good times on. And I mean, shoot, even I was on a plane a week ago, and I got to sit next to somebody from Denver to San Francisco who also got engaged on the mountain. And so we're not the only ones, but it's a fun, unique piece to celebrate.
So I'm going to pull you off the tripod here and then we'll get into a little bit more about the piece itself. So we really wanted to test how big we could go in one art piece. So we went kind of a full sheet length. So we've got from this bottom point here to the top is 4 feet. And then from the bottom of the copper colored, so this right corner, all the way to that left side, that is 8 feet. So that is about as big as we can go in one piece of steel on our machine. And then beyond that, we would do kind of multi-layers. So for this particular piece here, we have 2 layers of steel. We have the back layer, that's this layer here, and then we have the front layer. And so for the finish on these, the back layer here, I finished with a black magic patina and then did little bits of copper highlight. That's some of the coloring you're kind of seeing kind of right in there. And then for this front layer, I did a copper patina. And the patina, it is a chemical reaction with the steel. You spray a chemical on there, it rusts the steel, the coloring, and then you wash it off with water. So there's a little bit of technique involved just based on how much patina you put on the piece, how much water, how long you let it sit, the temperature in the shop. A lot of these variables will play into how it actually reacts. So for this piece here, we've got the snow ghosts, and then we kind of have a line cut in here that kind of represents the hill coming down. And we wanted to create sort of a windswept kind of alpine glow vibe for this piece. So I propped it up and I sprayed the water going in one direction. That way the patina dripped down the piece to create those kind of lines you're seeing in the copper patina. And that was the intention there, was to give this piece a little bit more life and a little bit more character, making you feel like you were up there on the mountain, getting those last chairs, getting that night skiing in with the windswept snow ghosts. So that's kind of a little bit about the finish itself. And so this piece here, we do have it attached to the wall in, I believe, 4 studs. And so I do color the screws. So they're kind of, so there's one there for an example there. So we screw straight through the design and attached it straight to studs. And we definitely wanted to make sure this was a secure location because we used it sort of as a headboard art piece. So like I mentioned earlier, this is in our showroom and we do rent this space out on Airbnb as well. And so this serves as the headboard and an art piece for the king bed here at Inspiration Cabin.
And this being a showroom and Airbnb gave us an opportunity to kind of play with color a little bit. I personally love the copper look of the copper patina, and it showcases so stunningly and beautiful on a darker color or darker hue wall. So that's where we painted the back wall in this deep green to where the copper would really pop and really shine and create a beautiful contrast on the wall. It's really beautiful to create black steel art, like with the black magic on white walls. It looks stunning, and then having a contrast of copper on a deep color wall is also really a beautiful way to showcase it, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely. And so I'll put a couple pictures at the end of this video. I'll do one of like the inspiration photo, some different photos up on Big Mountain. And that is the process that we use when we create our art pieces. So we like to go out adventuring. There's tons of different mountain ranges and so much to do here in Montana. And so we'll take photographs and we'll take those pictures and experiences and we'll use those as references. And Kelsey uses different design software to create the cut files that we then use in the shop to create the pieces. And so our process, we call it adventure, design, create, enjoy. So that's kind of the short form, I guess. We go out adventuring, we get different ideas, different photographs, and then we go into the office and we do the design work on the computer, and then we go out into the shop and we create the different pieces, and then we install them in their final location. That way they can be enjoyed.
And yeah, that's the process of our art creations, and also kind of the process of like how we got together, adventuring and playing and creating together.
Yeah. So I think that's about it for this episode. And so thanks so much for joining. And again, I will also link the other Art Talk where we kind of went in one of the original pieces that we created that kind of spurred a lot of the ideas for our different snow ghost art pieces. And
thanks so much for being here. If you have any questions, please let us know. And
yeah,
we'll see you next week.
Let us know what you thought about the video in the comments, and we hope to see you next week for episode 7. So we'll drop that on Sunday. So hope to see you there.
Peace.
Here's a picture of the snow ghosts up on Big Mountain, as well as Kelsey working on the design on the computer. And here's just a couple more pictures up on Big Mountain of an inversion day and kind of a halo rainbow effect that the inversion and sun was playing up on the mountain, as well as a couple of our engagement pictures back in 2018 on Big Mountain as well, with the snow ghost in the background. Thanks again for joining us. I'm restarting that. You want to see? What were we doing here? What are we?